Hello, students. Today we will be starting with a new chapter, that is the chapter 8 of your NCRT book, that is body movements. From the name itself, you can understand this is about how you move your body, how the movements are taking place with the help of different bones and structures and joints. This chapter will describe all this. Now, the movement means it is the change in the position of a body part with respect to whole body. For example, if I say there is a movement in the hand, that means hand is moving in any of the directions without that means any of the direction with respect to the whole body. Now, for human beings as well as for other animals, the movements are generally of two types. One is the movements of the body part, like the mouth, head, backbone, arm, hand, leg, etc. That is without the movement of the body from one place to the other, just only moving the body parts. Suppose you are taking something from here to there with the help of a hand. So that is the movement of the body part. And the second is movement of the whole body. That means when you are changing the position of the body. Initially body was in some position, after some time the body position is changed. So that is the change or the movement of the whole body from one place to the other. Now, in the first case or in the first section, we will study about the framework of bones or the skeleton. The bony framework inside our body is called the skeleton. Our body from outside, we can see it is the layer of the skin and the muscles, but inside, when the muscle and the skin all are removed, you can find there is a bony structure. This bony structure is called as the skeleton. In human, the skeleton inside the body is called endoskeleton. The endo word means inside. As the skeleton is present inside the body, so it is called as the endoskeleton, which provides a framework and holds the body together. You can see, like, although our hands in one side, another hand in another side, two legs are there, but each are they are in a single framework. Skeleton also, that is why skeleton also gives it a proper shape. That means our body is not like the body of amoeba where we can change the shape. We have got a definitive shape. Maybe in which direction we move, that is not important, but always the shape remains constant. Whether we can move in any direction or we can do any work. So, due to the presence of the skeleton, our body has got a proper shape. The human skeleton is made mostly of bones with some cartilage in certain parts. You will see the later on I will come where are exactly cartilages present, but now for instances the pinna, you can see if you hold the pinna you will feel a soft structure, that is the cartilage. So, along with the bones, cartilages are also present. There are actually 206 bones in the human skeleton. Our skeleton has movable joints between various bones which allows the muscle to move the head, shoulder, arm, legs, different parts. because you can see there is like when the upper arm and the lower arm joining through the elbow, so we can move it. So our skeleton is made up of these joints as well. So we can see this is not only a complete structure of skeleton, but also some cartilages are also present, and also joints are present, overall giving it a proper structure for the movement. You can see the skeleton or the human skeleton. If you zoom it, you can see it is like various parts are present. That is the skull. Within the skull there is a eye socket, there is a upper jaw, there is a lower jaw. Then these are the shoulder bones, under which you can see the collarbone, the shoulder blade, then the blade, then the up arm part, then the leg part. Arm part is divided into humerus, radius, ulna, different types of bones. Even the leg parts is divided into femur, tibia, fibula, and foot. So different types of structures are forming the entire skeleton, which we will study part by part. First one is that the skeleton consists of skull, backbone, ribs, breastbone, shoulder bone, hip bone, arm bone, leg bone. If you want to consider from the skull, you will get these structures. First one is the topmost portion, skull, then the backbone, then the different ribs which are present, then the breastbone, then coming the shoulder bones, then coming hip bone, then arm bone and the leg bone. The human skeleton consists of strong backbone which has skull at its top end. That is why we are vertebrate. So we had a strong vertebral column or the strong backbone, and on top of the backbone we have a skull. Then what is the structure which is present inside the or in the skull? It is in the skull we can see the eye socket, the upper jaw portion, the lower jaw portion. I hope you can understand first the eye socket, upper jaw and the lower jaw. Ribs are attached to the upper part of the backbone, forming a rib cage. There is a breastbone which is also known as the sternum in front of the rib cage. All the lower end of the backbone is a wide and strong structure called hip bone. So, when the structure where the backbone ends, at the lower end of the backbone, there is a wide structure which is called as the hip bone. Below the neck, if you come up, you can see below the neck there is a shoulder bone. Shoulder bone on both the sides of the skeleton, which consists of two bones. One is the collarbone, which is also scientifically known as clavicle, and shoulder blade, which is scientifically known as scapula. So, in the shoulder bone, we can see two shoulder bones are the structures which is made up of two bones. One is clavicle and another one is the scapula. Then two arms are attached to the two shoulder blades by ball and socket joint. Now coming to the arm. Each arm, if you can see by your own arm, you can see there is a upper arm portion, lower arm portion and hand. The lower arm is actually known as the forearm. Upper arm, then where is the portion? From the shoulder to elbow. If you can see it at your own arm, the portion or the structures from shoulder to elbow, it is composed of a single bone, and that single bone is known as humerus. Next, coming to the lower arm. Lower arm is basically composed of two bones, that is radius and ulna. And next, coming to the hand, that is lowermost part, which is composed of various small bones, ultimately forming wrist portion, palm and fingers. So from shoulder to elbow is the upper bone, upper hand or upper arm. From elbow to wrist is the lower arm. Then from wrist, palm and fingers constitute of the hand portion. Similarly, if you consider the legs, legs are attached to the hip bone by ball and socket joint. So leg is similarly upper, lower and foot. So upper leg is from hip to knee. This is also composed of single bone, which is known as the femur. Similarly, the upper hand also composed of single bone, which is known as humerus. Upper leg is also composed of single bone, which is known as the femur. Lower leg is from knee to ankle. This is two bones, tibia fibula. If you can recollect the lower arm, it is composed of again from the elbow to wrist and with the two bones, that is radius ulna. Here the lower leg are from knee to ankle and composed of tibia fibula. The upper leg bone is connected to lower leg bone at the knee by hinge joint. Similarly, upper arm and lower arm are connected by elbow joint. Here upper leg and the lower leg are connected by knee, or there is also a knee joint or a hinge joint which is known as the patella. And similarly, like the hand, we have a foot which is composed of various small bones forming the ankle, middle part of the foot and the toes. Similarly, if you can consider with the or compare with the structure of your arm, you can see the hand portion composed of different structures. Similarly, the leg portion or foot portion also composed of ankle, middle part of the foot and the toes.